Alright everyone, welcome. This is Sker Ritual. I'm going to be doing my review for this, but I thought it'd be best to just play the game and kind of go off the dome my thoughts about this. So, just to put it into perspective, I have done 4 of the map's Easter eggs. I have done the house, the hotel, the sewers, and the tides map, like the pirate ship map. This is the first map. And what you'll see here is we have a miracle system. This is an interesting system. I do like it. It adds some randomness and RNG to the game a little bit. But just kind of tell you what Sker Ritual is. It is basically COD Zombies, but it's very much the great value version. And I think even that is being a little bit generous. So, they're not really zombies, they're like quiet, possessed people. There's some missions that refer to them as the quiet ones. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the story really is here. You saw earlier there was some chick on the right side of the screen talking about her mom doing some experiment or something. I don't know, the story makes no sense. I feel like there's not any continuity between the maps. And there's 6 of them, and you'd think between 6 maps we would have some kind of idea of the story, but I didn't really get it, and I don't really feel compelled to do like a lore search and like reading through all these notes you can pick up. I feel like it should be able to somewhat convey an interesting story just through gameplay and Easter eggs. So, miracles are great, and we have a lot of stuff, and I see this is a really good one. But you see, you can refresh your miracles for points, which is fine. But the thing is, if you have a ton of points, you can just keep refreshing it. And a lot of times, I just refresh it to get a good one. So, the gameplay loop is like any zombies game. You spawn in, you survive the rounds, get points, open doors, and move forward. So, that's the gameplay loop. So the things that keep games like that interesting is kind of like the enemy variety, the gunplay, the Easter egg, and in these types of games like a wonder weapon. So, I don't know, it's not very strong on any of those fronts. The gunplay is fine. All the guns are. Oh God, hello. So sometimes there are good scare moments like that, where I don't really recognize what's happening, and sure enough, there's a guy stomping around. So those moments are good. Come on. So those moments do add some tension, and that is good. But. There's a very big but. It's not often that happens. So yeah, all the guns are kind of knockoff guns. But I mean, you clearly know what they are. I mean, there's a PPSH, an MP5, an AK, the usual fare of guns. But I feel like it's a very limited amount of guns. Definitely think there's room for them to have more guns in the game. So there's that. The thing is, I default to really just using the PPSH most of the time because it's so good. It's cracked open and out. Yeah, I use PPSH because it's really good. It melts bosses, all the maps that I've done the Easter egg on. I always use PPSH because it does shred. So yeah. So the game gives you a lot of all the objectives. Like, it does a lot of hand holding. Like, a lot of hand holding. As you can see, everything is like marked right away for the most part on where you need to go. So there's not really a lot of like wondering, oh, what's next? Oh, come on. Doing it solo is difficult, well not difficult, but it gets very costly trying to go everywhere. But there's not really a time where I feel like I'm just under a lot of pressure, I'm not gonna survive, that kind of thing. I very much feel like I'm doing good. Like, see, even when picking miracles, it pauses the game in solo, which is a nice feature, but if it wasn't like that, I think it could add a little more pressure of like, oh, I need to pick, you know, my miracles quickly, I need to figure out what I'm doing, that kind of thing. And yeah. So lots of hand holding. The main Easter eggs are very easy to complete. I did my runs with a group of 3 other people, and all of them, they're with me for 3 of the maps. One, the Tides map, the pirate one, I did by myself, and that one was not difficult to complete solo. It was just tedious. But we all managed to do the Easter eggs on our very first try at the map. So going in with no knowledge of the map and just jumping in, you know, no preparation whatsoever, we were able to do all the Easter eggs easy. Now, that could say something to, oh, maybe the game's just really well designed and it makes it, you know, accessible for the players to do it. True. But I also think it's just a lot of hand-holding that really makes it so we can do that. So that was the mystery box. I will say I do like the mystery box in this one. It's $50 cheaper than the one in COD Zombies. And it also has the potential to give you a weapon that's already pack-a-punched. That has happened to me only once, but I know people in my group had it happen to them a few times. So that's nice. Let's see. We'll do that one, I guess. So that's nice. The thing about these Easter eggs are they are probably the most repetitive and tedious and just I'm so uninterested in doing them Easter eggs I've ever seen. Now, I recognize Call of Duty is made by a AAA studio, and they've been doing it for a long, long time. But even if you go back to Call of Duty World at War, one of the first real Easter egg quests they had in Deriz, this is worse than that, in my opinion, because there's not a lot of variety here in the Easter eggs. You know, I'm not going to complete the Easter egg on this map in this review, but literally every single map has the same kind of Easter egg. You do a fetch quest for 3 or 4 different keys, cylinders, cannonballs, swords, something. You do a fetch quest for them. And almost every single one of them is go to a location, activate a thing, fill a soul box, fill another soul box, do another soul box. Hey, you know you need to do a soul box before you watch this review. Do another soul box. That's all it is. And I feel like there's not a lot of like real puzzles you have to do. Now, the puzzles that there are in here with like the codes, it's the same exact puzzle on every single map. You have to go find 4 different symbols in one area that's usually not too far from the code machine, and then go put them in. And that's it. And it's just not, like, there's no thinking really involved. Now, on solo, sure, it can be more difficult for you to remember the exact symbols. But, like, when you're running it with a group of even one other person, just one person goes looks at the code, and the other one stands at the machine, and you enter it, and it's so easy. Now, I don't expect this to be, like, Origins level complex, where we have to have, like, a symbol guide pulled up every time you want to do the Easter egg because it's that complicated. No, I don't need something like that. But even just a little bit more thinking involved could go a long way, and even just having more variety. I mean, if there was more variety of different things and it wasn't just doing soul boxes ad nauseum, I mean, I feel like this would be a lot more enjoyable and have a lot more replay value. You know, if I see another soul box, I'm gonna lose my mind, is the moral of the story here. In terms of gunplay, I already mentioned like the lack of weapons. I feel like there could be more weapons. But also, it's just the wonder weapons are not, they're just not it. Most of the time they feel so weak, and I'd rather use the PPSH, even without pack-a-punching it. I'd rather use it. We got a corpse grinder, which shoots like, it's like a, obviously it's like a piece of corpse, but it acts as like a little, like it's got a blast radius. There's one, like a howler, it's like a blunderbuss shotgun, but it shoots like an energy ball out, and it can bounce around the room. I mean, that's interesting, but it feels so underwhelming. There's one that's like the plague, which is a revolver that shoots out like 3, like bursts of plague, I guess. That one feels really weak. I think the worst one is the one on this map, the Thunderbolt. It reminds me of the Wonderwaffe, but it's like it doesn't chain lightning, and if it does, I couldn't really tell, and it was really ineffective. And it's to the point where they're so weak, I don't even want to waste the money to pack-a-punch them. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of work they could do in that department. Now, I will say one of my friends mentioned that the Wonder Weapon sword on the sewer map was pretty good. But I mean, in this game, I just don't want to risk melee. Just because, I mean, you could get down pretty quickly in this game, especially if one of the Ghast are on you. Or the Hags, rather. So, the game has no real story. Or at least none that's, like, clear and discernible. The gunplay is lacking. There could be more guns. There's not. The wonder weapons really aren't well worth it. The Easter eggs are so insanely repetitive. So I mean, what's left? I mean, there's not a lot, and I mean, I really think the saving thing for this game is the fact that there is a miracle system. This miracle system adds more RNG to it. It can really allow you to kind of build the class you want. So, since the game is paused, I'll just kind of go over a little bit more. You have a slot that affects your gun, a slot that affects your Molotovs, which is your grenades in this game. There's no other type of grenade. You have something that affects your elixir, which is supposed to give you health. Something for your melee, and then something that's like your ultimate ability. So, you get the random miracles here, and there's a bunch of different effects. But they all either give you damage, give you some new status effect like a slow or a stun or fire damage or poison. And then the healing ones, they can give you speed increases, crit increases, health increases, things like that. Now there's also some super ones, which I don't want to click in case it takes me off the screen, but if you click this over, there's some super ones that are like chance to heal a lot of health on taking lethal damage, or chances to increase your crit chance just by default. So these add a lot of interesting things where you can build up a class. If you're going to do really stun heavy class or a slow heavy class, you can do it if you get the right miracles. So that is interesting, but there's not enough miracles here for it to add just a ton of replay value, and I've already, after only doing 4 maps, I already know which ones I just want to use because they seem the best. I mean, I almost always get something to increase weapon damage by default, or something that increases my crit chance. I usually go with a Molotov modification that turns it into a stun for 5 seconds. For the elixir one, I usually either get the critical chance one or one that greatly increases my healing. Melee, I almost never use it outside of the first few rounds because it's too risky in this game. There's not really a great like kind of lunge cancel that you can do in COD Zombies, and sometimes the melees miss when I really feel like they shouldn't. And then for the ultimate, I don't use the ultimate a lot, but I usually just grab the one that makes me invincible, because if you upgrade it enough, you can get up to 15 seconds of invincibility, which is insane in a game like this, and it just makes it really, really easy. So, I don't know. This is not made by a AAA developer. And another pro I will give it is that all the DLC is free. So all the maps are free. There are cosmetic DLCs that you can pay for to just get new masks, but everything else is free. All the actual content is free. So I do like that. I appreciate that. But I feel like if they were paid DLCs, I would not be convinced to buy any of them. It's just, I don't know. And the other thing too is I feel like after having done this doing this Easter egg on this map, and then going and playing the newest map, the pirate one, like, it feels like they've regressed in their Easter eggs. Like, there were soul boxes on this Easter egg, yes. But the pirate one, I literally almost quit playing the map because I was just tired of filling soul boxes after soul boxes. And the thing is, like, it takes several rounds worth of zombies to fill a single soul box. So the rounds would get ran really, really high. So when you go into fighting the boss, it's a lot more difficult than it should be. Even for someone like me, who is like a seasoned veteran of speed running COD Easter eggs, I can speed run these really quick. I get the setups really quickly. But because of all the soul box steps, the rounds get ran up into the 20s because I have to force the rounds forward because the soul boxes require so much. And I mean, I don't know, if it was not something I was contracted to play, I don't think I would play it. And the only reason I'm playing it right now is because I want to get video footage and talk over it for this review. That's the only reason I'm playing it. And after I finish this review, I mean, I probably won't touch it again unless they release a new map, and I may give it a try if it looks interesting. Oh, and look, here we go. I just got this is a tier 1 packed gun from the mystery box. So that's cool. Apparently the pirate map, I think, has a music Easter egg. I didn't activate it. I didn't care to look it up because the score in this game is another thing that's very, very repetitive. Again, on the pirate map, the music's the same in all of them, but on the pirate map especially, there was so much of me just running around doing fetch quests, looking for the soul boxes, that I got tired of hearing the same old track going over and over and over again. It is so repetitive. And a lot of, oh yeah, so here's one of those second ones here. These are really good. So increased faith health, good. There's one that gives you a shield that reflects damage back, so it's also really good. But yeah, anyway, about the score, I didn't care to look up the music Easter egg step because I was just, the music that's in here, like right now, let's move away from him. Yeah, so if you hear that, that is all you hear on repeat. It is constantly going the entire time you're in the game. And that gets old so insanely fast. The music does change from time to time when things get a little intense. But it does this constant repetitive beat does not make any atmosphere. It has nothing to do with the map. It has nothing to do with the environment. It's just repetitive and it gets so annoying. I've turned the music on for this review, but when I was just playing the maps with my friends, I muted the music and just listened to my own music because I was that tired of it. So, what are the overall score for this game? I feel like I'd have to give this a 5 out of 10. I think the big pros for it, I like the mystery box can give you pack-a-punched guns. I feel like there is some enemy variety. The regular grunts, these laser guys. There's some invisible ones that can run around and kind of just pop up on you, but they're really easy to see. There's also hags. And then some maps, like the pirate map, actually has themed dog rounds where it's crabs. And then the house one has just regular old dogs. So there's some enemy variety, even though it may not change my gameplay up a lot. It is nice to have it, so that's a pro. They have all the usual perks here. There is an upgrade system for the perks. I did forget to mention that. They do give you resources to upgrade your perks outside of the game, so you can get more powerful versions of like Jug and Speed Cola and Mule Kick and things like that. But they are very, very stingy with the resources. And I cannot believe I forgot to talk about this. Let's hold off on the final score. I already know where he sets 5. It might get deducted now that I'm remembering this. There is an insane amount of grind to get any kind of camos. I have played, like I said, I've done 4 Easter eggs, 5 total runs, and all the rounds they've gone to over 20. And I've gotten a lot of kills. I don't have any camos yet. I have none. Because the camos in this game are based off of XP that you get from, killing. And it takes so much XP to even get the first one. I'm astonished that they think anyone's going to play this enough to get to the last one. Because I can't imagine how many hours you'd have to sink in to this super, super repetitive gameplay loop with no real reward to get that. It is so grindy. And the resources, you would have to grind and grind and grind. Not as much as the camos, I will say, but still have to grind to get them leveled up. So, I think I'll keep it at the 5 out of 10, but I'll mention that the grind for camos and perk upgrades is too much. And there's not enough on offer here to incentivize me to do that kind of a grind. It's just, this is great value zombies. This is very much great value zombies. And yes, COD Zombies is made by a AAA developer. I get it. But when I think about games like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, where I have over 400 hours just playing the custom zombies that are made by people that, sure, some of them may have some training in video game development, but most of them don't, and most of them are not professionals. And I still have much better main maps, with much better Easter eggs, with much better weapon variety, and a lot more creativity in the wonder weapons. Playing this just makes me want to go play that. It's not a fact of I'm tired of the zombie genre or tired of these round-based survival games. It's the fact that this isn't just done that well, and there's something sitting right there in my library that I could open up and find new maps every day that would blow all of these out of the water. So, honestly, I'm going to drop it down to a 4. Now that I've said that, I'm going to drop it down to a 4 out of 10. And I hate saying that, but I feel I can't justify the 5. It's going to be a 4 out of 10. Who should check this out? If you haven't played a co-op survival game like this before, I feel like I still just recommend you to go get Black Ops 3. Get it on sale. If it's still $60, I'm sure it is because it's Activision. But if it's still $60, wait for a good sale. Pick it up for $30 even. This game costs $25, and I think if you can get Black Ops 3 Zombies for $30, I think it would. It'd be well worth your money and time, more so than this. There's always new maps. There's a lot of creativity on there. I would recommend that over this. And I think as long as something like that exists in the world, I really don't think I can recommend this to somebody looking to scratch a zombie's itch. So yeah. Let me know if you've played Sker Ritual before. Let me know what you think about the game. Maybe I'm way off base and this was overly harsh for what this is. Maybe it is, or maybe it's right on point. That will be for you to let me know in the comments. I hope you are catching up with all the Ratchet and Clank gameplay I'm posting recently. That game has been a ton of fun, and I'm actually going to try to go finish that up right after this review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you tune in on the next review. Bye!